Hey everyone, before we dive in, here's something really cool. You're listening to an episode created almost entirely by AI. From the script to the voice, this is part of the AI Takeover series by Blockchain DXB, where we explore what's possible when humans hand over the mic to machines. There's little to no human involvement, and that's what makes this episode so powerful. Welcome to the future of content creation. Let's get into it. This episode is powered by Amana, the region's first and fastest-growing regulated all-in-one trading and investing app. Whether you're looking to invest in U.S. stocks like Apple or Tesla, or MENA giants like ATH or Salik, Amana puts the financial market at your fingertips. You also get access to gold, foreign exchange, ETFs, futures, and commodities. With over 375 assets to choose from, they've got the largest crypto selection in the region. And listen, guys, if you want to build long-term wealth without thinking about it every day and want to automate your investing, just set your monthly budget, choose your preferred categories, and let Amana do the rest. No fees, no lockups, and 100% customizable. Even better, funding your account is frictionless, and funding your account is easier than ever. You can fund your account with Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit cards, instant bank deposits, and even your crypto wallet. No friction, no hassle. And if you get stuck, Amana offers 24/6 real human customer support and personalized sales assistance. Because you're part of the Blockchain DXB community, you get an exclusive offer. Register with the code BlockchainDXB and make at least one trade to receive a $100 trading bonus credited to your account the following month. So what are you waiting for? Download the Amana app now. The link and code are in the show notes. Next up, Blockchain DXB is proud to be the official media partner for one of the biggest blockchain events of the year, the Blockchain Futurist Conference. For the first time ever, North America's leading crypto event is heading to the United States, taking place at the iconic Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida. Alongside it is ETH Women, happening simultaneously. Expect multi-stage panels, NFT galleries, DeFi showcases, tech demos, metaverse experiences, and more, all under one roof. It's where the smartest minds in blockchain, crypto, and AI will converge. Get 25% off tickets by using the code DXB25. And yes, I'll be there with exclusive live coverage, behind-the-scenes interviews, and spotlight features on groundbreaking projects. Mark your calendars, November 5th and 6th, 2025. Visit futuristconference.com and use code DXB25. Link is in the show notes. Next up, Blockchain DXB has two more interesting partnership news to announce. First up, with Future Blockchain Summit and Fintech Surge 2025. Blockchain DXB is an official media partner of Future Blockchain Summit and Fintech Surge 2025. Future Blockchain Summit is one of the biggest and oldest blockchain summit taking place in Dubai, going back to almost a decade, 2017 to be precise. The event takes place between October 12th to 15th at Dubai Harbour. This is where blockchain meets fintech to redefine the future of finance. 250 plus world-class speakers, 1,200 plus investors, live demos, product launches, and the exclusive invite-only GITEX Digital Assets Forum, all under one roof. From Web3 pioneers to fintech leaders shaping payments, banking, insurtech, AI, and DeFi, this event brings the entire ecosystem together. Startups, this is your launchpad. Get in front of top VCs, accelerators, and industry leaders. For blockchain and fintech companies, this is where connections turn into partnerships and dreams turn into exits. Register today at futureblockchainsummit.com. Don't just watch the future unfold, own your space in it. Remember, Future Blockchain Summit and Fintech Surge 2025. The registration link is in the show notes below, and see you at Dubai Harbour. Second partnership news kicking off from today is with the leading Bitcoin event organizers on this planet. And this year, Bitcoin Asia is taking things to another level. Bitcoin Asia are hosting a massive gathering this August in Hong Kong, and Blockchain DXB is proud to be an official media partner of Bitcoin Asia 2025. Taking place this August in Hong Kong, Bitcoin Asia is the region's premier Bitcoin gathering, where builders, investors, and innovators meet. It's really an honor for Blockchain DXB to be associated with Bitcoin Asia. Now at this event, expect powerful keynotes, bold conversations, and a headlining session with none other than Eric Trump. He will be sharing his vision for Bitcoin's long-term potential, its role in global finance, and Asia's massive impact on adoption, and a lot more. So listen up, guys. From infrastructure to regulation, privacy tools to lightning development, Bitcoin Asia connects global Bitcoin communities and drives innovation across cultures and markets. And as part of this partnership, you can register for the Bitcoin Asia using the code DXB. All the detail are in the show notes below. If Bitcoin's in your blood, this is your event. So, register today at asia.btc and don't forget to use code DXB for 10% off your tickets. Bitcoin Asia 2025, Hong Kong is calling. Be part of the future of Bitcoin. Next up, Advanced Media is the largest distributor of professional video, photography, cinema, and broadcast accessories in the Middle East. They represent over 100 major brands, including DJI, Hasselblad, Red, and Rode. The mic I'm using to record this? Sponsored by Advanced Media. But what really sets them apart is their commitment to purpose. People, planet, and prosperity. That's not just branding, it's their actual business model. They've partnered with SAE Institute in Dubai to offer scholarships to students pursuing a bachelor's degree in filmmaking, each worth AED 50,000. They also run regular workshops, training programs, and tech showcases across the region. For more info, visit amt.t, that's amt.tv. Finally, let's talk about something every crypto investor should take seriously: security. And that's where Ledger comes in. Ledger is one of the most trusted names in crypto security. Their hardware wallets, like the Nano S Plus and Nano X, keep your assets safe by storing your private keys offline. That means you're protected against hacks, malware, and phishing attempts that can compromise online wallets. The company is headquartered in Paris and is constantly innovating. Their team works with world-class security researchers and regularly tests their own products for vulnerabilities. It's why Ledger wallets are used by millions around the world. Using a hardware wallet isn't just smart, it's essential. If you're serious about crypto, it's time to stop relying on centralized exchanges or browser wallets. Click the link in the show notes to order your Ledger wallet and support this podcast at the same time.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being truly well-informed. Look, in a world where political shifts, national strategies, technological leaps, they're constantly reshaping everything, right? From global finance to our daily lives, staying on top of it all can feel like, well, a full-time job.
It absolutely can, yeah. That's why we're here. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a stack of recent updates from, the intersecting worlds of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, geopolitics, and artificial intelligence. We're drawing insights from the Blockchain DXB podcast, dated August 18th, 2025.
Right. And our mission for you, the listener, is really to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge from all this. We want to help you understand not just what's happening, but crucially, why it matters and how all these different threads kind of weave together to form the bigger picture.
Exactly. We'll try to uncover some surprising facts and connect the dots across global events, policy changes, cutting-edge tech.
Okay, then let's unpack this. Where should we start? Geopolitics, maybe.
Sounds good. So on the global stage, we've definitely seen some significant diplomatic activity recently. President Donald Trump met with President Putin, a meeting described in our source as, well, kind of successful.
Kind of successful.
Yeah, and that was followed by a series of European leaders meeting with President Trump at the White House just this past week.
And there's a lot of sort of anticipation around President Trump's upcoming meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky, isn't there? I mean, this meeting is expected to have impacts, both direct and indirect, on Bitcoin and crypto prices.
Absolutely. The source material points to a hopeful outlook for world peace on a macro level. The thinking is, if these diplomatic efforts actually succeed, it could signal a safer, more stable global environment.
And this is where it gets really interesting for our listeners, right? How directly this geopolitical uncertainty or potential stability translates into shifts in Bitcoin and crypto prices. We've seen a marginal fall, you mentioned.
Yeah, prices have seen a marginal fall, and they haven't really pumped up significantly. This is being tied in the source to ongoing ETF outflows.
Ah, the ETFs.
Right. These exchange-traded fund inflows and outflows, they're a critical barometer. They're essentially a real-time pulse check on investor confidence, especially among, high net worth individuals and the big institutional investors.
So what are the latest numbers on that?
Well, for instance, in the last 24 hours, as of August 18th, we saw a notable outflow of about $73.4 million.
73.4 million out. That's not just a number. It really is a direct pulse check, like you said, on how these high-stakes global politics immediately translate into real shifts in investment behavior.
It's a stark reminder. In the crypto world, these macro events aren't just distant headlines. They are definitely market movers.
It brings to mind some pretty powerful perspectives on war and peace. I remember the source mentioning Julian Assange.
That's right. In the context of the Afghanistan war, he famously said something like, "The goal is an endless war, not a successful one."
Yeah. That quote really resonates, especially when you think about Bitcoin's history, its connection to WikiLeaks early on.
And then contrasting that, the source highlights a quote attributed to Marco Rubio, or at least an interpretation of his stance. "The goal of the Trump administration is not to win any war, but to put an end to all the wars."
Quite a different philosophy.
Completely. And it just underscores how deeply this geopolitical news is clearly impacting the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies day to day.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. What's the broader market picture look like as of, say, early Monday, August 18th, Dubai time?
Right, so the global crypto market cap is still holding strong above that $4 trillion mark. Specifically, it's sitting at $4.08 trillion. It's actually up slightly, about 0.6% in the last 24 hours.
And trading volume?
The 24-hour global volume is around $105 billion, which honestly is looking pretty great for early Monday hours. Definitely solid activity.
Okay. And what about the decentralized side, DEX?
Yeah, digging into the DX data. Activity looks healthy there, too.
Yeah.
The 24-hour DX volume is $11.69 billion. Fees generated from that, $72.61 million.
Wow.
And the total value locked, or PVL, in DeFi is still substantial. It's holding above $150 billion, currently at $153.76 billion.
So decentralized exchanges are carving out a pretty big slice of the pie then.
They really are. DX dominance compared to centralized exchanges is sitting at 37.16%. And interestingly, real-world asset tokenization, RWA, putting things like real estate on the blockchain, that now has a TVL of $14.57 billion. That's growing.
Interesting. And who are the big players in the DX space right now?
Well, Uniswap is still leading the pack by a significant margin, almost $4 billion, $3.88 billion in 24-hour volume. But others like PancakeSwap, Radium, Aerodrome, and Curve are also showing significant activity. It signals a pretty healthy ecosystem overall.
What about stablecoins? They're crucial for volume.
Absolutely. Tether, USDT, saw $85.56 billion in 24-hour volume. Circle's USDC is at $10.05 billion, and FDUSD is at $4.59 billion. So huge volumes there underpinning a lot of the trading.
Okay. And Bitcoin versus Ethereum dominance, how's that looking?
Bitcoin dominance is currently at 58.68%. Ethereum's dominance, meanwhile, is at 13.60%. And that's actually been pumping up quite drastically recently.
Oh, really? Why is that?
It seems to be driven by this emerging narrative around Ethereum treasury firms. Essentially, like we saw with Bitcoin earlier, there's this growing trend of major corporations and investment funds starting to allocate some of their treasury reserves into Ethereum. They're viewing it as a strategic asset, not just pure speculation.
Interesting. So institutions moving into ETH and trading volumes.
Bitcoin's 24-hour volume is $45.82 billion. Ethereum's is $32.97 billion. And that's notable because ETH's volume is picking up pace significantly compared to its historical average, which is usually around a third, maybe half, of Bitcoin's volume.
But despite that activity surge, I think the source mentioned ETH's market cap took a hit.
It did, yeah. A pretty massive hit, actually. It fell from around $560 billion on August 15th down to $542 billion. Bitcoin's market cap is also down slightly to $2.34 trillion.
Okay, let's get the current prices out there as of August 18th.
Right. Bitcoin is trading at $117,824. That's up just 0.21% in the last 24 hours, but it's down 1.39% over the week.
And Ethereum?
Ethereum is at $4,466. That's up almost 2%, 1.98% in 24 hours, and actually up 5.59% over the last 7 days. So showing some strength there on the weekly chart.
What about XRP?
Ripple, XRP, is at 0.39 cents, down slightly, 0.15% in 24 hours, and down 2.39% over the week.
It's truly incredible to watch how directly these high-level political moves and these shifts in investor confidence, like the ETF flows, play out almost in real time in the daily value of these assets.
Yeah, it connects the headlines to the ledger in a way that few other markets really do. It's fascinating.
Okay, so we've seen how global politics moves the needle. Now let's zoom in on a specific national strategy, India. The source talks about a really bold move there, leveraging Bitcoin beyond just finance.
That's right. A really fascinating development is the launch of the Bitcoin Policy Institute's think tank in India. Now, the BPI is originally an American organization focused on educating politicians globally about Bitcoin's benefits. And they launched this Indian branch on August 15th.
India's Independence Day, that's
Right.
quite symbolic.
Exactly. And interestingly, Bo Hines, who was a former crypto advisor for President Donald Trump, is mentioned as a member of this institute.
Okay, so what's the core goal here?
The main goal is to promote Bitcoin as a tool for financial sovereignty and economic security, specifically for India. They aim to provide research, education, policy advocacy, the whole package.
So positioning Bitcoin as strategic, how?
They envision it helping India hedge geopolitical risk and even turn currently unused or stranded energy resources into monetary assets through mining.
Right, the mining aspect. How are they planning to approach this? The source mentioned 5 pillars.
Yeah, exactly. 5 key pillars. First, there's a sovereign mining initiative. The idea is to guide Indian states on how to convert renewable energy into Bitcoin through mining.
Guiding states, okay. That's ambitious. What else?
Second is policy advocacy and research, basically becoming a credible go-to resource for regulators and policymakers in India. Third, a strategic research initiative aimed at strengthening the case for Bitcoin as a national treasury asset.
Bitcoin as a treasury asset for India, that's a big leap, especially given India's, let's say, complex history with crypto, right? The whole love-hate relationship the source mentions.
Absolutely. It's a valid point. The Reserve Bank of India, the RBI, has often been a detractor, definitely. But then you have the Supreme Court, which has actually favored Bitcoin adoption in the past. So there's this internal tension.
So how do they overcome that potential resistance?
Well, that leads to the fourth pillar, which is simply education. Demystifying Bitcoin for the public, promoting financial literacy. And the fifth pillar is enabling commerce and payments. This focuses on supporting the adoption of low-cost global transactions using Bitcoin.
That fifth one seems huge for India, given the massive population and the scale of remittances.
Exactly. It could be a game changer. And the source suggests that even though India might be seen as relatively late to the Bitcoin game, it could gain a real competitive advantage by focusing specifically on the Lightning Network for payments.
The Lightning Network, so small, fast payments.
Right. The idea is this could enable widespread adoption, even down to street vendors, retail institutions. The material explicitly says Lightning, not just general blockchain, should be the new narrative for payments in India.
So they're pushing a pretty robust plan. Are there concrete outputs planned?
Yeah, they mentioned plans to publish a white paper specifically on mining opportunities in India, and also a CFO playbook, basically a guide for corporations considering adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets as a treasury asset.
And the overall message?
The founders are really emphasizing India's opportunity here to take a leading role in this shifting global financial paradigm. But of course,
it all depends on execution and political will.
Exactly. The scale of the impact hinges on that. The source does note that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's potentially positive approach could be a significant factor.
And there was even a connection drawn to U.S.-India tariff discussions.
Yeah, suggesting that if India becomes a leader in Bitcoin strategy, it could actually put Modi in a stronger driving seat in those kinds of international negotiations.
It really makes you wonder, what does this mean for global Bitcoin adoption if a country like India embraces it with this different narrative?
Precisely. The narrative being pushed by the Bitcoin Policy Institute in India, focusing on financial sovereignty, national security, economic innovation, it's quite different from the dominant Western framing, which often emphasizes Bitcoin primarily as a speculative asset.
And that alternative narrative might resonate elsewhere.
It very well could,
Yeah.
especially in other emerging markets facing similar challenges Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh are mentioned. So yes, India's strategic move, if successful, driven by this unique narrative, they could genuinely reshape the future of finance for billions.
It's clear just how quickly this whole crypto world adapts, isn't it? To regulation, new token ideas, security issues. You really have to stay vigilant.
Let's look at the U.S. regulatory side again. The source mentioned a more friendly approach from banks.
Yeah, that's a big one. The Federal Reserve Board announced on August 15th, 2025, that it was withdrawing its Novel Activity Supervisory Program.
Okay, remind us what that program was.
It was created back under the Biden administration in 2023. Its purpose was specifically to oversee how banks got involved with crypto and fintech activities.
Right, and wasn't there that whole Operation Choke Point 2.0 thing?
Exactly. That was under the Biden administration, too, and it effectively discouraged U.S. banks from offering services to crypto firms. We saw similar things happen in the UK and India previously, remember? Bank accounts getting closed just for crypto transactions. So the withdrawal of this Fed program is actually a huge development for the industry.
Sounds like a massive win, as the source put it. It addresses a major pain point for founders, just getting basic banking services. Absolutely. The consensus is that regulators under the current Trump administration are signaling a much more friendly approach, allowing the banking industry back into the game, providing services to crypto-related firms. It's significant.
And this could have ripple effects globally?
Potentially, yes. The source suggests this move by the U.S. Fed could serve as an inspiration or at least a green light for other countries. Often regulators elsewhere, too, tend to follow the U.S. lead on these kinds of financial regulations.
Okay, shifting to token dynamics. OKX Exchange made a really bold move, didn't they? Burning tokens.
A very bold move, yeah. OKX decided to burn a staggering $26 billion worth of their OKB tokens. This dramatically slashed the total supply from 300 million down to just 21 million.
21 million. That number sounds familiar.
Exactly. It's mirroring Bitcoin's fixed supply. Specifically, they burned 279 million Ethereum-based OKB tokens.
Can you just briefly explain what burn means in this context?
Sure. A burning mechanism basically involves sending tokens to a public blockchain address that nobody has the private key for.
Yep.
It's like sending them into a black hole. The funds are completely gone, unrecoverable, so it effectively removes them from circulation and permanently reduces the total supply.
It's a powerful tool for managing the economics of a token.
Definitely. And interestingly, the source touches on how, even though it has its own detractors, a central bank digital currency, a CBDC, could theoretically use a burning mechanism like this to manage inflation.
How so?
By sending excess digital currency to an unrecoverable address. The source also mentions a more advanced idea of temporary burning using smart contracts, where funds could maybe be released later.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't technically be burning in the true sense. Still, an interesting thought.
And what was the market impact of OKX's big burn?
Immediate and dramatic. It massively boosted OKB's scarcity, as you'd expect. The token price shot up nearly 100% in just about a week.
Wow, doubled.
Yeah. And its market value hit a new all-time high of $135 billion. Now, OKB is the native token for OKX's Ethereum Layer 2 network, which they call X-Layer. This burn seems to be part of a bigger strategic shift for OKX. They're focusing heavily on X-Layer, phasing out their older OKD chain and really pushing into DeFi payments and RWA tokenization.
Makes sense strategically, but the source raises a good question.
Right. Who actually gets to decide to burn $26 billion worth of tokens? And
Yeah.
based on what criteria? That's a huge amount of value to just
Yeah.
eliminate. It's a governance question, really.
Definitely something to think about. Okay, quickly touching on security concerns, Monero. There was some panic last week.
Yeah, there was a bit of a scare. A firm called Cubic claimed it had achieved 51% control over Monero's hashing power. That, understandably, created some nervousness.
51% control is always a worry. How did exchanges react?
Well, Kraken, which is one of the oldest and most respected exchanges, temporarily paused Monero deposits. They cited security concerns and centralization risks related to that 51% claim.
Okay, but trading wasn't halted.
No, importantly, Monero, trading and withdrawals, continued without interruption on Kraken. They're just being cautious with deposits, tracking the situation closely, and they plan to reopen them once they feel conditions are secure again.
It just highlights that constant need for vigilance in crypto, doesn't it? Even for established privacy coins like Monero.
Absolutely. The landscape is always evolving. Regulation, tokenomics, security threats. It demands constant attention and understanding.
Okay, let's shift gears completely now. Beyond finance and policy, technology is reshaping our physical world too. The Middle East seems to be really leading the charge in some practical AI innovation. Dubai Airport.
Yeah, this is pretty amazing stuff. Dubai Airport, which, remember, has been the busiest airport for international flights for 11 years straight, has launched what they're calling the first AI-powered passenger corridor.
AI-powered passenger corridor. What does that actually mean for travelers?
It means, according to Lieutenant General Mohammed Ahmed El-Mari, who announced it, a major leap in smart travel. Passengers can now essentially bypass traditional passport control. No need to show physical documents, you just walk through this corridor.
Walk through, how long does it take?
A matter of seconds, apparently, and it's incredibly efficient. The system allows up to 10 passengers to cross at the same time, compared to just one at a time traditionally.
Wow, so that's like a tenfold increase in capacity right there.
Basically, yeah. The AI handles the identity verification and security checks seamlessly in the background while maintaining high security standards. It automatically flags any suspicious documents for human experts and recognizes passenger data before they even reach the checkpoints. Traditional passport inspections are being phased out.
That sounds incredibly smooth. Almost too good to be true. What's the feedback been like?
Overwhelmingly positive, according to the source. Travelers are praising the speed, the efficiency, just the vastly improved experience. The source confidently calls Dubai Airport one of the best places in the world for tech and security, and this seems to back that up.
Incredible. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia is also making huge strides with AI, particularly in tourism.
That's right. They're really leaning into AI, augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality, VR, to completely transform their tourism sector. This is a core part of their Vision 2030 plan, aiming to diversify the economy away from oil.
And the goals are ambitious.
Hugely ambitious. They're aiming for 150 million annual visitors by 2030. And they want tourism's contribution to GDP to jump from the current 3% up to 10%.
So how is AI enabling this? What are the specific applications?
It's pretty comprehensive. AI will power things like personalized trip planning tools and create more immersive visitor engagement at sites. Biometric systems, similar maybe to Dubai's corridor, will streamline travel and immigration. IoT solutions will enhance hotels and infrastructure management.
And using VR for sites?
Yeah, AI and VR together will bring immersive storytelling to cultural and entertainment locations. Think virtual historical reconstructions or enhanced experiences.
This sounds like a massive investment in smart infrastructure overall.
It is. AI-driven airports, digital visa platforms, that's all part of the plan. And Saudi Arabia has a young, tech-savvy population, which helps drive rapid adoption. Apparently, 87% of Saudis are already using generative AI tools for trip planning.
87%? That's huge.
Yeah. They even anticipate using service robots in hotels for routine tasks to boost efficiency.
Of course, it can't all be smooth sailing. Are there challenges mentioned?
Definitely. The source acknowledges reliance on foreign technology as a factor. There's a big need for developing local talent in AI. Regulatory gaps need filling. And of course, strong data governance and cybersecurity are paramount when you're collecting and using this much data.
But the overall outlook is positive.
Very positive. Despite the challenges, experts see this push for smart tourism as a catalyst for Saudi Arabia to become a global innovation leader in the travel industry. The government's strong commitment to AI and emerging tech is seen as a key driver.
So we're really seeing these tangible, real-world applications of AI, making travel faster, more secure, and fundamentally redefining how entire countries are planning their economic futures.
Exactly. It's moving beyond abstract concepts into everyday reality.
Okay, so we've covered quite a bit today. We've explored how these high-stakes global political moves directly ripple through to the value of your digital assets.
Yeah, and we looked at how a major nation like India is thinking strategically about Bitcoin, really shifting the narrative away from just speculation towards sovereignty and economic innovation.
Right, and then we saw these, frankly, mind-blowing AI applications transforming airports and potentially entire national economies in the Middle East.
It really is a lot to take in. So the question for you, the listener, is what stands out most to you here? How do you see this convergence playing out?
Yeah, this convergence of, well, geopolitical stability or maybe instability combined with genuinely innovative monetary policy ideas like national Bitcoin strategies, and then layered with advanced AI reshaping daily life and economies.
How might all that fundamentally reshape not just the global financial landscape, but maybe even our ideas about national sovereignty, about personal freedom in this increasingly digital age?
It's definitely a lot to mull over. We invite you to keep exploring these complex connections.
Absolutely. Thank you for diving deep with us today.